Hey there, and welcome back to Let's Play with Goel. And we are most of the way through Bleak Falls Barrow. And now I'm going deep into the depths. Bleak Falls Barrow, in a cave now. Should be about 2/3 of the way through. So far we've seen bandits at the entrance, and then there was a giant spider, and took care of that pretty easily. Found the golden claw, and are now going to... I could technically just leave and give the golden claw back, but the journal talked about a great treasure being hidden at the end of this area, so I'm going to go check that out. That's a cool... all those trees up there. That looks really cool. What time is it in Skyrim? 7:46. Interesting, so around dusk, or maybe a little thereafter. What do we have in here? Longbow, already have it. Potion of minor stamina. Can be useful. Typically, it's used a lot early on when you need... really when you're trying to do power attacks against a powerful enemy that you need to kill and you're out of stamina. Or you're sprinting and you get tired of running out of stamina so often. Alright, oh, there's somebody here. So I'm going to grab some more glowing mushrooms. Going to pull out my longbow. Definitely the best tactic for sneak attacks. And actually, I think I can see this guy from that ledge up there. So I'm going to go back up around, sprint through here, and sneak. And see if I can't see this guy. Yeah. Now he did see me there. And now he's definitely heard me. Well. Okay, so now he knows where I am. So the strategy itself was sound, but the execution sucked. So, gonna have to kill this Draugr the old-fashioned way. Okay. Definitely has seen me. Gonna get one shot off. This looks like a female Draugr. Interesting. So the strategy at this point is definitely, especially early on, you use block. You know, if you're playing on normal difficulty, oh, that was sweet, sweet. You do not need to use block hardly ever. I did not level it almost at all my first playthrough on normal difficulty. Ancient Nord sword. You know, I think that's cooler than the Imperial sword. Even though it weighs a little more, I'm going with cool. So, I'm going to equip that. And I'm going to heal. Alright. Already got those, good. Okay, so now I want to explore down here real quick. Oh, that's a skull of some animal. And, see what I can find down here. I'm still a little wary of Draugr, so I'm taking it slow. Because I really don't want to... I want to choose the time of engagement. I want to engage with the bow from a distance before I even have to use magic or my sword. Okay, so I have to unlock this chest. Let's try here. Okay, it gives a little, so I'm going to give a little more. Oh, I almost got it first try. Okay, so it's the other way. Got it. And unlocked, my lockpicking went up. Excuse me. Hide shield I don't care about. I have better with the iron shield. Although, I wonder, actually, what my current shield... Let's see, so that's 22 armor. Because I'm going light armor. I'll hang on to it. I have plenty of space, and if I decide to go strictly light armor, which I'm basically using light armor right now, except for my shield. So that's kind of the strategy at this point. Okay, I'm going to pull out my bow. Simply because I want to be ready to engage enemies from a distance if necessary. Haven't seen any ore yet. This one may not have any, which is fine because I don't have a pickaxe to get it anyways. So, okay, I'm going to leave that one be. It's a little high. Continuing on. Okay, those are some cool vines. I wonder, you know, wonder how long those vines, like if you actually tried to, how long, like if the, you know, if Skyrim was real and in the real game, how long one of those vines would actually go. I'm guessing a really long way. Okay, there's a Draugr right there. You can barely see it. Now again, I want to engage from a distance. He has a two-hander, which means he... Oh, and he's a restless Draugr, which means he's going to have a much higher damage output, meaning I need to be careful. And I have a feeling that I'm going to be needing to... oh, man, I keep trying to use that sword, shield. Yeah. I need to be blocking every single one of his attacks, or else he's going to rip me to shreds. And I'm going to back up, and the goal is I want to be engaging, healing, coming back. There's a strategy and a flow to it, and, you know, could I get a little more aggressive? Maybe, but maybe not. I mean, it could end up being very, very deadly for me. I just barely got that block off. Yeah, that's about my limit right there. I don't like that being... I'm gonna make this a lot quicker. And back up so I can see him coming. Switch back to my preset. This is one of those times when I really wish that they had, like, default weapon presets that I could switch between, because I'm definitely doing that a lot. Dodge that one. I want to, yeah. If you run away, oh wow, and I'm almost dead. So I'm going to go back to... I pushed my limit a little farther than I was like. I was hoping to stagger him. I really wanted him to go down on one knee, and then it's just a matter of easily finishing him off. But now there should be no danger. There we go. Come around this corner, buddy. And that's what I wanted to see happen, right there. I wanted that to happen the last time, actually. Okay, so that's kind of a mini-boss type enemy for this particular dungeon. Later on, these guys get a lot easier, but when you're starting off and your weapons are not that good, you know, you do what you gotta do. So... yeah, it's about, you know, it's cat and mouse. You pick the time of engagement, you run away and heal, that sort of thing. You get as much damage as you can from archery and long-range attacks, just as much as you possibly can. Okay, so I'm guessing / hoping there are no more enemies in this room. Apprentice Lock, haven't seen one of these yet. How good is that? That was a very good / lucky guess. Hide bracers. Yeah, I have better. Okay. Bleak Falls Sanctum. Now this will be the area where the boss is. And I don't remember this being particularly long. A little worried about some more Draugr, so I'm going to pull out my longbow again to prepare for potential long-range engagements. You can sneak attack using a weapon, but I have mods that make sneaking harder because it's way too easy in the normal game. And you know, I'm a little concerned that I just, without having a really high sneak skill, I just don't think I'm going to get there in time. Okay, so I have an idea here. Okay, I'm going to... This is one of those times I wish I had my combat roll. Okay, got there, and I didn't awaken... Oh, I did wake up one of the Draugr. Okay, I have a strategy. That did not mean to slice myself, but it did succeed in that I really lowered his health quite a bit, and this should be a simple matter of finishing up the kill. The blue glowing eyes of the Draugr are simultaneously cool and creepy, in my estimation. Okay, going through. You just want to, you know, you don't have to sneak through that. You just need to sprint right through it. Now, I could have sworn that there were more Draugr down here when I played this last. Could have sworn. Potion of Resist Cold, not that useful. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I have potions, I forget to use them. Okay. Well, I don't see him there. Oh, I just startled somebody. Who did I startle? Gonna pull out the longbow. Okay. It's an archer, so what I'm gonna do now... Yes! Perfect! And what's gonna happen there is he's gonna run in it, and he's going to... I mean, hopefully it does more damage than that, but... Oh. That literally could not have gone better. Except maybe that second guy would have burned completely from the fire, but... Small... Whoa! That is better than my longbow, so I'm going to switch to the Ancient Nord bow and favorite that. And I'm now using all Ancient Nord weapons. So if we go here, again, tight corners, I'm a little concerned about there being more Draugr that I'm just not seeing. A Detect Life spell would be really useful right now, but, and there's a Shout that lets you do that too, which is, I love that there's a Shout for that. But I don't have it right now, so I'm going to continue through here. You can be very careful not to shoot any of these. You know, I really try not to touch the oil. That's those jars, the oil jars or whatever. I really try not to disturb those unless I have a reason to do so, because sometimes I've been killed accidentally by that. Now this is a cool haul. If you look, this I don't know if you call them hieroglyphics or whatever, because it's not exactly Egyptian, but cool things on the walls, and very, very cool chamber. Okay, so the journal talked about the golden claw being the clue. So if we pull out the golden claw, and we go over and click on it, there we go, with the mouse wheel. Couldn't remember what button it was. Okay, from top to bottom, it's bear, butterfly, owl. Bear, butterfly, owl. Bear, butterfly, owl. It helps for me to repeat it to myself. Bear, butterfly, owl. Because it just helps me to remember it more easily, so that I don't have to look again. And that is bear, butterfly, owl. So, putting in the ring... Pretty cool. Very ornate ring, claw. So now we have entered the inner sanctum. I guess you could call it that. Whatever you want to call it. We're in here. And we're approaching, I believe, the final boss for this particular dungeon. This is one of my favorite rooms in the whole dungeon. And the bats. Love the bats. I mean, if I was actually there, that would freak me out, but... You know, the classic bats swatting bats through the air. I've never noticed this over here. I wonder if this is like there's a chest over here or something. Interesting. Okay, now there's a cool room. This is really the secret of Bleak Falls Barrow. It's not, you know, there's the golden claw, but the golden claw is really the treasure that will lead us to this. Now you hear the shouting. That's actually coming from the wall. And I'm about to learn my first word of power. Force, unrelenting force. I believe it's actually Fus. And part of the famous, now famous, Fus Roda shout. But I don't have any dragons to, and I don't actually... You know, at this point my character doesn't even know what the heck just happened, let alone the, you know, what's actually going to come. Which, oh, and there's the boss. Okay, so my first, oh, it's a melee guy. Interesting. I thought it was going to be ranged. So my strategy is going to be a little bit different. I really wish I had a shout, but I don't. So initially, this is the time that I wanted to say battle cry for, It causes an enemy to be feared for 30 seconds. Only available once a day, so you want to pick the time that you use it very carefully. And that did nothing. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to be moving. One thing that can help in this particular area is using these, you know, Draugr don't necessarily know exactly how to jump. So this is a case, you know, people are like, you know, people may say or think that, you know, people doing this are exploiting, but I strongly disagree. Positioning is absolutely part of the strategy in playing and beating Skyrim. Especially on higher difficulties. I mean, master difficulty, there's not even a question. You use whatever advantage you can get because it's basically unfair. Expert is a challenge, but it's not insane. Okay. Now this is good. I've got a level up that I will use if I'm about to die, and it will give me max health. So I am very much liking that. And actually, you know, I've been going melee with this guy, but he's doing so much damage, I think I'm going to try and engage him with the bow. And the goal here, again, it's positioning. You want to be moving. Of course, oh, the ground shielded me from his Fusroda shout. Now it's nice that even though he's doing Fusroda, but he's not actually shouting me all over the place. Or throwing me all over the place like the complete Fusroda shout does. So that's nice. It's basically like the first version of... It's basically the first word of power effect. Maybe the second. So as you can see, this strategy is definitely working. And part of the reason I'm doing this is because I have a stronger bow. My bow is definitely stronger than my melee attacks. And my melee attacks leave me much more vulnerable. So this is by far the most efficient and also the safest way to take this guy down. Because he can kill me in probably 4 or 5 strikes, and that can happen a lot sooner than you'd think. You can get caught out of position very easily. Okay, so I'm hoping he'll go down. Yes, that's what I like to see. And there he is. That is the final boss, and this Dragonstone, which is just interesting. Most players, I think, pick this up without really knowing what it is, because, you know, my character wouldn't know what it is, but it's cool. But it has a purpose later on. Okay, so, with that done, now the Ancient War Axe of Cold. What this means is, I'm going to drop the sword because both of these do more damage. And this will be, the Ancient War Axe of Cold will be my primary weapon. And if I decide to dual wield, I have the other axe. Flawless Garnet, useful for crafting, more often than not just for selling. Conjure Familiar, I'm actually very happy to see this. It's a very, very low level conjuration. Interesting. I'll probably sell that because I don't use alteration all that often, and it's not worth having a dedicated head item for. Interestingly, I'm going to add this. What this does is it summons a pet. Now, keep in mind, it is an extremely weak pet. Very, very weak pet. So its usefulness is debatable. But it's a good way to start to train conjuration. Although, if I really actually want to be training conjuration, I'm really going to need to get the first conjuration perk that reduces the mana cost of conjuration spells, because you can really I can only cast this once before running out of mana. But generally, you know, companions, summoned creatures, followers actually tend to, you know, sometimes they're not the sharpest tools in the shed, but at least most of the times they won't break your sneak. You know, there's a bunch of flowers. I'll just leave the flowers. Won't usually break your sneak. So what I mean by that is, you know, if I approach an enemy, a companion is going to sit still if I'm sneaking and not break my cover them trying to get. Okay, so we now have the Golden Claw. And we're going to fast travel back to Riverwood. Oh, no we're not, because I forgot. There's this random potion of destruction here. That's a really interesting question. I wonder how that got there. Okay, so one of the things with Frostfall is that you have to have firewood to travel. It's basically this idea of, in order to fast travel, you need to build a camp. And I did not grab firewood before I left, so I can't fast travel. Now, some of you will probably won't like that option, but I think it's interesting. It gives a purpose to firewood, which I'm okay with, and you know, there's some realism to it. I mean, if you're traveling a really long distance, you would probably need to stop to camp at some point. So we're gonna head through here. The gem glows bright green. Is interesting. What do we have here?
I'm just a poor old woman, dear. No need to trouble yourself with me.
Well, I'm not going to be a jerk. Oh, there's a skill book. I'm not going to sneak into her place.
It's so nice to have a visitor.
Although, I highly recommend that... I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but I highly recommend that when you play through Skyrim on your own, that you go to that house and look in her cellar, because you will be surprised at what you see. My character wouldn't do that, so I'm not going to. Okay, this guy definitely is not... he's definitely not taking much... Oh, wow. Okay. I am okay, this is a good time to level up, actually, because I'm concerned with his dual wielding that he's going to be attacking too fast for me. I'm going to increase stamina once just so that sprinting is not quite so frustrating. I'm thinking about conjuration. Sneak is an option, although I kind of like how difficult it is right now. I don't mind that at all. One hand is always an option. Block. Actually, I take it back. I want more effective blocking on harder difficulties. It's just kind of a necessity. And one of the things with the Deadly Dragons mod, which you just saw, was that enemies... Okay, I gotta use a healing potion or I'm gonna die here. Enemies will actually use... Oh gosh, I actually did die. I wonder how far back I saved. I guess we'll find out. Okay, I went back to here. So, if you want to skip ahead, you know, probably about 3 minutes. And I'm going to fight this guy again, probably. I'm assuming he'll spawn the same as he did before. But that's part of the thing with expert difficulty. You know, you're experiencing what I'm experiencing, which is I should have saved while I was fighting the guy, and I didn't. So, there's a lesson. Definitely always save when you think you're going to die. And there's another thing, too, with the dual wielding. He attacked so fast. I went from half health to dead in a matter of maybe 3 seconds. Definitely not long enough to avoid death. So that was actually very, very short. It wasn't a long amount of time for me to get back there. So we're back where we were. And now the question is, are we going to see an Argonian attack me again? I need to eat something, so I'm going to... Okay, so I'm at -1 calories. I'm just going to eat all these tomatoes because I don't have any water and I need to get some water. And some more... So what my meal is going to end up looking like, this is my last thing I'm going to eat, is all of the middle stats I'm going to get over time, which will help me. So, that is the plan. I hear some wolves. Where are these wolves? I'm not sure. up here. So one of the things I was saying, I was very distracted by what was actually going on, but in that last fight, you might have seen that Argonian heal himself. Am I on the right quest? No, that's part of the issue too. Okay, I was gonna say because I need to go to Helgen, and I was like, it's Riverwood. Excuse me, getting my towns mixed up. But the Argonian healed himself. That is not part of the default game. That's actually part of what is it? Deadly Dragons, I believe. The enemies, one of the separate parts to Deadly Dragons is that enemies can actually heal themselves using potions, that sort of thing. You'll see enemies heal themselves with spells in the normal game, but it's another level of realism in that the player has potions. Why can't everybody else use them? That sort of thing. So I'm saving the level ups considering I died. I'm saving the level up for another time when I need help.
The sooner you find the claw, the sooner our lives can get back to normal.
Well, funny you should mention that, because I do actually have that claw.
There it is! Strange. It seems smaller than I remember.
Smaller?
Thing, huh?
I don't remember anything that would happen to it to make it smaller.
I'll never forget this. You've done a great thing for me and my sister.
Yeah, I wonder how he got that. But, hey, 400 gold works for me. I wonder if he has any spells.
I think I have a few old spell books laying about. If you want more, you'll have to go to the College of Winterhold.
I'm interested particularly in, if I can talk. Lesser Ward, that's not a bad one to pick up. Ray Zombie, for now I don't need that. I'm going to pick up Lesser Ward, Lesser Ward can come in handy. I also got the quest to visit the College of Winterhold, which I'm not going to do right now. One of the mods that I'm running right now takes, I think, yeah, there it is. It takes wards and greatly reduces the cost. Normally, Lesser Ward, the mana cost is about 16, maybe 14 mana per second, and it's just not really useful. There's no reason to use it whatsoever. So, this mod I'm running, and I cannot remember what it is called. Let me look here. But what it does is it makes... it's called Exalted Magic Free Wards. Available on the Steam Workshop. What it does is it makes the mana cost of Lesser Ward very, very low. Right now it says 0 per second. It's actually like something like 0.5 mana per second, but it's really slow. So it makes it very, very useful, particularly when fighting dragons, because especially on expert difficulty, like there's not a lot to shield you from what's coming. So I'm going to go back to Hod and Girder's. I don't actually think that's their house. This is Hod and Girder's house. So I'm going to head back to here and sleep, and this will conclude our, I believe this is our 5th episode of Let's Play Skyrim with Goel. Please subscribe if you like these videos. I'd love to hear from you, to comment. Please comment on them. I'm very interested in getting feedback on what you would like to see, what you'd like me to do. So, thanks very much, and I will see you in the next episode. Later.